Yeah, g'day everybody. Farmer Wade here from Billboard Battalion. We're in downtown Cayuga tonight, and the date today is the 30th of June 2025. So this is Monday, 9:30 p.m. at night. So we're doing one. We've had a pretty big day, and just wanted to let you know what we're doing with regard to our continuing campaign and information and pushback with regard to the World Health Organization international health regulations. This is the one that Australia has signed up to and have up until the 19th of July 2025 to pull out of. We're already in it, and if we fail to pull out, then we are stuck with this. And I can tell you right now, this is a horror story. This is basically the end of Australia if this goes through and we don't pull out. So we need, at this point, the Labor government to write to the WHO and pull us out of this international health regulations, this agreement, treaty, whatever you want to call it, with the World Health Organization. Now, this is going to take a lot of doing because the Labor Party here in Australia is attached by the hip to the WHO and the World Economic Forum and the United Nations. This is what this is all about. So the first thing that we would say is that this the title is incredibly misleading. In fact, it's designed to con you, to lie to us all. So the whole name of the World Health Organization, for a start, is fraudulent. They are the exact opposite of anything that's good. And the international health regulations are actually the international let's destroy your country regulations. And this is something that people, countries, sign on to, and then what happens is after the 19th of July 2025, Australia is legally bound to do whatever the WHO tells it to do in the event of there is some kind of a pandemic. Now, the WHO is actually one man in the WHO has the authority to call a pandemic. That's the short story of it. And given the incredible connection with the World Health Organization and the UN and the WEF and their constant, persistent, we've got too many people on the planet. We've got to have the Great Reset. Climate change has to be fought and stopped. The war against climate change, and also this increasing garbage about pandemics. We need to look at what this actually is, and this so-called international health regulations. Anything we sign up to with the WHO is literally the instrument, the legal instrument that they would use to basically destroy our country, bring in all the crackpot, psychotic requirements to fight climate change, to attack our farmers, to shut down agriculture and food production, to shut down electricity production, to shut down your ability to move around, to use fuel, to buy things. This is all literally what this is about. So we know this because the WEF and the UN have been pushing now for many, many years that all these things need to happen. And farmers, they tell us, are the greatest contributors to the carbon, the terrible carbon, the stuff that actually our planet needs to survive. So this thing it's a dog. It's an attack on us, and we would be bound to create legislation to support the World Health Organization enforcing this stuff on us under anything at all that the WHO calls a pandemic. Well, here's a bit of a tip. For quite a while now, they've been talking about climate change as being a pandemic. So for all the people who believe in climate change, and look at there's a group called Farmers for Climate Action. So we'll be making attempts to speak to them and interview them very soon. But I'd say to you, to everybody who has been sucked in to believe in this climate change crap, this is where the rubber hits the road, and they use your beliefs to destroy your life. These are simply the facts. That is the evidence, and that is the truth. So they've been pushing this climate change crap down people's neck for over 20 years now. And this thing gives them the power to actually enforce it using our cops, our military, our legislation, our court system, our medical system, and a whole army of people who hate our country. So what have we been doing today to push back? And what do we need the people to start taking notice of? So what my strategy is we need to start putting enormous pressure on our politicians, particularly the Labor Party and the Greens, because at the minute, they're the ones who are calling the shots, and they're the ones who must withdraw from this thing. So we find out if the Labor Party actually cares about Australia and your family's safety, because that is literally on the line right now. So we need to find out where the Labor Party stands. So as the beginning of our campaign, with politicians, with mainstream media, with many other media, and with many of the groups around the countryside who are supposed to represent different industries, different organisations. We're going to be bringing you reports on who we're contacting next and what they are prepared to do. If they're prepared to talk to us, if they're prepared to take some steps. Because I can tell you right now, much of who we spoke to today in Bendigo had no idea of what the hell we're even talking about with regard to this international health regulations. This is the greatest threat, deliberate, man-made, organised threat against our country. Now, if you had something that said, we've got a thing happened, it's climate change, it's a threat, it will be on the front page of every newspaper. It would be on the TV screens, it would be on your radio, it would be all over your computers and social media from the government and all these other people who would be pushing this down your neck. If it was anything to do with some kind of pandemic, and make no mistake, they're intending to do exactly this right now. They would be plastering this crap all over the papers, the TV stations. And make no mistake, they're ramping that up now. We're starting to see more and more commentary and reports and stuff from all over the joint. COVID's on the rise, as all these cases. Now we know as a damn fact that the government, the media, the politicians, the medical profession lied their guts out to us. They conned us. They were fraudulent. APRA was a fraudulent con, as were all of our medical officers, our health officers, and the people who lead the medical profession. They lied to us. So they're trying to bring this back again, and they're trying to set us up to believe, oh no, there's some sort of pandemic coming, whether it's COVID, whatever their BS next crap version of it is. The other people who are a bit soft in the head They're talking about, the bird flu. All the birds are dying, and we've got to watch out because it'll transmit from birds to humans and all this crap. So therefore, we need to stand strong, and we need to resist that. We need to fight back. But I tell you one thing right now: if they get this international health regulations across the line, or we don't withdraw from it by the 17th of July this year, everything I just said will be taken as absolute gospel. They will bring out every deadbeat scumbag professor who will toe their line from all the universities, from all the other crap things that they come from, and they will lie to you. So we'll have a little bit of a quick think about what are the ramifications, and then we'll tell you some of the things that we're doing about it and invite people to be a part of that. So some of the things that they intend to do after they declare climate change an emergency or a pandemic is they're going to go after your farmers. They're going to go to shut down agricultural production. And we'll talk a bit about this in the very near future. But they have already been attacking and shutting down farmers under this climate change crap and their policies. We're seeing farmers now who are being dispossessed of their land. They're just putting some zone across your land, and all of a sudden you can't use it. You can't. You've got no control over it. In Victoria here, we're seeing Jacinta Allen, her government, for whatever you want to call it, is talking about now just over $12,000 fine if farmers try and stop these renewable energy horror stories, these shocking companies from putting this crap on their land. We've heard lots of farmers say, well, they'll block the gates off with tractors and machinery and so on. Now they're trying to get across the line in the Victorian government will incur a fine for the individual who does this, or many of them, or whatever, I'm not sure 100%, but a $12,120 fine just for trying to stop trespassers and people you don't want on your property from coming onto your property and destroying it. That's what this is about. So this, I guarantee you that at the minute, this is a fair old nasty scrap right now. If they get these international health regulations over the line, then if they declare climate change as some kind of a pandemic, and you try and stop them from doing something that they claim is to fight the pandemic of climate change, i.e. putting all this crap all over your land and destroying your farms, God help you. I have no idea what would happen to you, but it would be incredibly, very, very bad, very serious. It would make a $12,000 fine look like a mosquito on your arm. So I think that we need to take this very seriously. The international health regulations are a full-scale attack on our country, on our farmers, on our house. If you own your house and land, you won't own it for much longer. You own a business and land, you won't own it for much longer. You won't be able to move around. They will shut down your areas, your regions. On the side of the Billboard Battalion bus, we say permanent lockdowns are coming. Well, this is the instrument that gives them the power to do exactly that. This is the main weapon, and the Australian government would be obliged, legally obligated, to create the legislation here in our country to give them the power. And I would say to all the people, and I know quite a lot of people who talk about, the Constitution, this would execute the Constitution. It will be dead, over, finished, because what the people like the World Health Organization and the UN and the WHO, what they're committed to is the one world government, where Australia holds no standing as a nation. Your constitution is over. Your common law is over. You have no rights at all. That is what this is about. Make no mistake. So what have we done today? We went to Bendigo, Nick and Belinda and myself, and our first point of call was Lisa Chester's office. Lisa Chester is she's the Labor Party federal member for the seat of Bendigo here in Central Victoria. So the purpose is to start with the politicians and the media. So I put it to her, the woman in the office there. Once you got in the joint, it was like getting into Alcatraz. And I mean that literally. You wouldn't think that is an establishment that's open for business for just your local MP who's well, anyway. So we had to write an email. So we wrote an email and got that there and said, okay, we'd like to do an interview with Lisa Chesters about the international health regulations. And this is a matter of urgency because I want to have the opportunity to ask Lisa Chester questions on a live so that the people can see what your politicians or your representative are going to say, what they say about the IHRs. And I think that people need to see those answers because the politicians need to start feeling the pressure from the public that they need to pull out. Because the big losers here are going to be the public. And it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a farmer, you're a shopkeeper, you're a council employee, you're a librarian, a plumber, it doesn't matter. If you work in retail, a school teacher, it doesn't matter. This is going to come after you. If you own a house, if you own a block of land, if you own a farm, a business, if you own a car, if you own anything at all, you're not going to own it for much longer. And that is what this is about. And I want you to understand that this is supposedly about Australia is obliged to follow the advice of the World Health Organization. So if there was a pandemic, which they've guaranteed that they're going to start another one because these organizations and your government, they are the ones who are creating these pandemics. I guarantee that. So if they create the pandemic and then the WHO gives them all this great information, this great advice, tell me why you need to have a legally binding obligation to follow their crap advice. You would think that if they gave advice that actually was good quality, then you would be able to just follow that and say, that's a good idea. And we could have an open discussion with our doctors about whether that would be something that works. Now, open discussions with our doctors have literally been banned. Our doctors were banned from talking about what was going on with COVID, with the vaccine poisons, the stuff they injected into people's arms, and now many of those people are dead because of what was injected into their arms. And this is not just me saying this. This is a massive movement of medical experts across the world have said this. So we need to talk to the likes of Lisa Chesters, and we're going to be trying to talk to a whole heap of politicians. And this is where we're going to be needing your help to put the pressure on these politicians to talk to Farmer Wade, to talk to Billboard Battalion, and have these discussions and have these interviews so that the real people in the world can actually see what's happening, and we can get some of the information from these politicians to say, yes, actually this is a problem. This is a massive problem. And it is going to wipe out our farmers. It is going to wipe out our businesses, our food production and everything else. So we've emailed Lisa Chesters today, and we're now waiting on a response. As time is of the essence, we will get back to Lisa Chester's office and start, putting the pressure on to get this. This is the most important thing that Lisa Chesters has to do in her entire career for the safety of the people of not only Bendigo, but Australia, the whole country. So we then went to WIN News in Bendigo, the offices there, and got some names of people to talk to, journalists and so on in WIN News. And I did ask, admittedly at that point, just the office girl there, and I said about the IHRs, never heard of it. Are you kidding me? Okay. You would think that talk around the office at WIN News, people would know what we're talking about with the international health regulations. Not a clue. Nothing. And that's not to say anything about the young woman who was working there, but you'd think that chatter around the office would be of the most significant and disastrous thing to ever happen to Australia in its history. But anyway, so we've got some numbers for journos from WIN News, and we'll be getting on to contact them tomorrow, and we'll be doing daily reports on our updates, who's actually wanting to let the people know, who's not, who's covering it up, who doesn't want to know about it, who refuses to speak to us, and why. So we went from WIN News to the Bendigo Advertiser. So for people in Victoria or Bendigo region, the Bendigo Advertiser is a local newspaper there in Bendigo. It's been there for, well, a hell of a long time, possibly over 100 years. I don't know, but I would suspect that would be the case. And we spoke to a journo there who I explained some of these things to him. Doesn't seem, never heard of it and doesn't want to hear of it. What we got was, okay, so, we sort of report on things that affect the people locally, local issues. So here's the local issue for you. The people of Bendigo are going to be incredibly adversely affected by the international health regulations. If you just imagine the dramas and the problems and the hassles that the government caused you with regard to COVID, you imagine how you were attacked by the government. You were locked down. You lost your jobs. You lost your businesses. Some people went mad. Some people killed themselves. Everything that was bad about it. The total fraud that was. Imagine that 1,000,000 times worse. And imagine that constant. There is no end in sight. You get these IHRs across the line. If we don't pull out of that, then you better start to expect that permanently. So therefore, I say to the Bendigo Advertiser, and we'll be ringing up the Bendigo Advertiser again very, very soon and speak to the editor and say, mate, what the hell's going on? You've got a catastrophic event that's going to happen. And I'm telling you that's what's going to happen because we know that these things are being put into place. It's open for anybody to see. So the Bendigo Advertiser, a big black mark across your name. So let's see if we can get some improvement on that from the Bendigo Advertiser. From there on, and I must say, look, I'm grateful to the Bendigo Advertiser for, we walked in the door and they got a journo to come and talk to us. So that was great. But what happened after that was a disaster. So from there on, we ended up at the ABC office in Bendigo. I'm not sure if they broadcast from there or not. I couldn't tell you. But guess what? You walk up to the door of the ABC office in Bendigo, and the thing's locked. There's a notice on the door that says they only see people by appointment. Okay, well, that's just weird. Starting to see a bit of a theme here where politicians and media seem to have a fear of the public. Can't imagine why that'd be. Maybe because over a long time they've been a part of actually setting up to destroy the public and attack the public and cover up the information, cover up what's happening. So anyway, I rang this Sheila in the ABC and on the number that was on the door, and told her a little bit about what we're about. And look, I'll get your number. I'll get someone to ring you. So whether or not that happens, I'm not sure, but we will continue to push this harder and harder every day. So we are not going to let this go. And I'm telling you right now, if you get to the 19th of July this year, 2025, and the government, the Labor Party, Albanese and the Greens and whatever, if they haven't pulled out of this, you better expect over the next couple of years a world of pain, a world of hurt, the end of your world, in fact. And that is not something to take lightly, but that is not something that I say lightly. You better understand that is the end of our country if they don't pull out by then. And a big part is our media need to come clean and tell the truth. And a big part of our media is, a big part of a problem why the media is not telling you is many of the stations and the media outlets now are owned by or have shareholders by BlackRock, by Vanguard, by State Street. And these are the organisations that make up a massive big part of the World Economic Forum and the United Nations and the World Health Organization. So this is why you're not getting this information from your media. The other issue, of course, is that we have people in the media who are ideologically adverse to telling you the truth. We've got people in the media who are to the extreme left, and they're incapable of rational thought or doing anything else bar whatever they are told to do. So this is a catastrophic situation. The ABC is supposedly not owned by anybody, but I think in reality it is. It's owned by the same left-wing nut jobs that are owned by the likes of Vanguard and State Street. And of course, there's the old never bite the hand that feeds you. If they want a job, if they want a career, they know damn well you play the game. You tell whatever lies that you are forced to tell. You tell whatever garbage, irrespective of who it hurts, who it kills, who it damages. If you want a career, you do what you're told. So this is where we need our media to get a massive big shot of courage and of compassion for the people in Australia. So, I talk a lot about our police and our military, and I just would say the same thing to the people in the media, people who are in the politicians. Just remember, these people that you are helping to support, helping to set up, they're coming after your families as well. And it doesn't matter if you're a journalist, a politician, a police officer, an Australian Defence Force, military personnel, doctors, nurses. It doesn't matter who you are. These people are coming after you. And under the climate change emergency pandemic, They will be coming after every one of you. You will lose everything, including your life, because that is the longer. Now it used to be the long game. Now it's the short game. The short list is here. It's on our doorstep. It's bashing the door down. So for the decades and decades that they have put into preparing this is now the tip of the iceberg. This is now right here and now. Our Australian Constitution is dead. Our rights are dead. And this thing gives them the power to completely destroy everything that you have and, in fact, that you are. So I'd say to people, if you care about your own safety, you care about the safety of your kids or grandkids, then get on board with us right now. Give us a hand. We need help to do the sort of things. We need help to reach out and touch every politician in Australia, every media outlet. And Billboard Battalion absolutely needs funding to help us to fight this. So we've got tomorrow, our plan for tomorrow, we're going to head across to Shepparton to start seeing many of the media people in Shepparton. We've got McPherson Media in Shep. We've got the ABC, I think it's offices in Shepparton there. So I think that we need to really start punching this hard, because what I said about these IHRs and what they're about, what their real purpose is dead set true. You can guarantee that. So we'll be bringing you more reports tomorrow. We'll update you on anything that I've spoken about today. If we've got any responses from media or politicians here, we'll update you and keep you informed. So as I said, be prepared to give us a hand. You know, people want to know, oh, what's your plan? What are you going to do about it? Well, this is a part of what we're doing about it. This is a part where you get active, you get on the job, you get on the case. For the people who believe that they're secure, for the people who own property and businesses, I think they're doing pretty well. This thing is going to have the capacity to take that all off you. Once again, there's no need to sign up to a legally binding anything with these scumbags, parasitic terrorists in the World Health Organization. You can take advice. And I don't guarantee it will be very, very the worst advice. But if you are stupid enough and dumb enough as a country to take advice from the World Health Organization, then you're cracked in the head for a start. But there is no need to sign a legal document to give them the power to smash you if you resist. And I can guarantee, if this gets over the line and we can't stop it, then once it starts to bite, you're really going to start to resist. But by then, the people who didn't care, the people who were too apathetic, the ones who were too distracted, or the ones who ridiculed us or whatever, are going to find out exactly what an invasion looks like when they have everything taken off them, looks like, including their lives. And one of the big ticket items under this agreement, this IHR stuff, would be the shutdown of your right to communicate. The censorship of anybody who would say anything about it. And I mean, you might look at that and go, oh, well, some crackpots, they shouldn't be allowed to speak. But what about our farmers? Because I guarantee you that under this climate change fraudulent emergency hoax pandemic, people like our farmers, it will become illegal and outlawed to speak, to say anything. For the people who's having their bank accounts shut down, it will be illegal for you to say anything. And if you think that what I'm saying is wrong, you only have to look at England, where now they are throwing hardened criminals out of jail, releasing them to make room to incarcerate, to lock up, to put in prison people just for saying something, for having an opinion, for making a statement based on the evidence that is in front of their face. So this is deadly serious stuff. And our federal politicians are on this. Our state politicians, most of them know about this stuff. Many of our councillors know about this stuff. So therefore, we need to make sure that the people, the population, know about it. And we need to make sure the politicians, the people are prepared to push back and fight hard, because the end of Australia is only weeks away. And that is not an understatement of any size. That is a guaranteed absolute fact. All right, people, thanks very much for watching. We'll be continuing to bring you updates every day. We will push this. We'll nail this as hard as we possibly can. So thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you again tomorrow if we've got any results from today, and what we get up to tomorrow in Shepparton. Just one other thing I'll just actually say quickly. Billboard Battalion will be taking part in the drive up to Canberra next Friday and Saturday. That's happening. We'll be going through Albury. We'll be leaving the Albury area and heading up to Wagga, stay there that night, and then head up to Canberra the next day. Jackie Dundee has done a huge amount of work on stuff that she's trying to do with government, with the High Court. Jodie Lowe has put a lot of effort into creating this convoy kind of a thing to Canberra to support that. So I have grave concerns over how much impact, if any, that this will have. But we have to try. We have to support the people who are having a go. And Jackie Dundee and Jodie Lowe are certainly having a go. So therefore, Billboard Battalion will be there to support as much as we possibly can. So we've got to have a crack. But if nothing else, we want people to see that for my opinion, the federal government is completely on the other side. They do not work for us. They work for our enemies. And the High Court, I would say, from what I've seen over the last 30 years of people taking issues to the High Court, if it's some sort of a thing about the Constitution or about upholding Australians' rights, forget it. The High Court's done. It's cooked, mate. She's over. Total corruption, absolute corruption. So anyway, that's just a bit of an update of where we're up to. And tomorrow night, which will be Tuesday, the 1st of July, 2025, we'll actually be interviewing Jodie Lowe to bring an update as to where everything is with the parade that he's running, and to see where it's all at, and to give Jodie an opportunity to speak to everybody through Billboard Battalion, to our followers and listeners, and for those who might want to know, where they can join up to the parade and what's going to be the setup once we get to Canberra, what's going to happen. Then I've had lots and lots and lots of people who are contacting me to ask about the program, about what's happening. I'm not organising this, although we've organised huge numbers of events over the years as it is. I think that this is up to Jody to fill people in, give them the up-to-date information and a bit of report on what's happened so far with the event that Jody's put together. So well done to him. And I think that we need to get behind this. This is one last push, if you like, that I think we've got to give this a shot. I have no faith at all in the High Court. We've seen a couple of cases in there now. I'm not sure how they will go, how they will end up, but we'd certainly support them because they're having a crack. I think that the first thing that we need to do to try and pull our country back into gear is shut down this IHR, this International Health Regulation, because if they get that over the line, then they will have the legal authority to shut down us. It's that simple. So, all right, people, thanks very much for watching. Yep, as I say, we will not go weak at the knees, mate. We're in this battle to fight for our country. This is the spirit of the Anzacs. We are trying to defend what they gave their lives to give us. So therefore, good night to everybody. We'll catch up with you tomorrow for an update, as I've said.